I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Yesterday, the 1st of December, a friend of mine from Kogi State, who resides with me here in Delta State, came visiting. And he said that, Doctor, please tell your people not to be calling us Northerners or calling us Hausa people. And I told him that you need to speak up yourselves, those of you from the so-called middle belt. You need to speak up for yourselves. And then I asked him, who are you people if you are not Northerners? He said they are middle belt people or North Central. Then I asked him to define North Central for me, and he said North Central comprises of 6 core states, and I will mention the 6 core states. They include Kogi, Niger, Kwara, Benue, Plateau, and Nasarawa states. But he said that people of southern Kaduna that are predominantly Christians and people from Taraba and some parts of southern Borno, Biu in particular, where they have the Baburu senatorial district, also identify as middle belt people. Then he talked about Gombe, parts of Gombe, that about 40% of Christians in Gombe State are Christians. That's why they always produce the deputy governor. And he told me that the middle belt states, the core states, don't have as many emirs as other parts of the north. That the Fulanis were not able to install emirs in many parts of the north, the middle belt. And so in Kogi, they don't have emirs. In Niger, they have the emir of Mina. In Kwara, they have emir of Ilorin. And then Nasarawa State, they have the emir of Lafia. And so he told me that the influence of rulership over them in the middle belt in terms of emirship is very limited. However, I reminded him that they acted as instruments of genocide during the Civil War, that they were those who predominantly enlisted in the army and were used to perpetuate the genocide that took place in Biafra. I'm an Urhobo man, but I was reading newspapers, listening to radio, listening to the discussions of the Civil War, and an eyewitness to several things. I told him that it is true that most of you from the Middle Belt have several cultures, several languages, and religion. He said they are predominantly Christians. What is happening is breaking the hegemony of the Arewa phenomenon that has been used to impose a leadership of the Fulani stroke radical Islamic leadership over Nigeria. I will do a video on the docility of the Hausas. I believe in the unity of this country. I believe in the peace of this country. I believe in the joint progress of this country. But pressure reveals a lot of things. And when the music changes, the dance steps also change. I reminded him that if Gowon had acted wisely, that with the Aburi Accord, we would not have had as many deaths. I reminded him that the Fulanis are not really great fighters or great warriors. After all, it was these areas in the Middle Belt that stopped the advance of Uthman Dan Fodio, and at least the two Barewa local government council areas in Bauchi have remained intact, and I don't think banditry and cattle rustling and all the rubbish is going on significantly there. If you know, let us know. However, I told him that as Christians, we should never be used as tools against our own faith and against our own people, who are people of the book. The average northern Muslim that is in the bush terrorizing, not the regular ones, see you as an infidel. Boko Haram, ISWAP, Lakawaru, see you as an infidel. To be fair on several northern Muslims, they don't believe that these terrorists are really Muslims. They believe they are just bloodthirsty, psychopathic terrorists who are narcissistic and fortune hunters, who have seen the looseness and lousiness in governance in Nigeria in general, and particularly in the northern parts, and the evil men that brought them from different countries, who are still parading in the corridors of power, and nothing has been done to them. I told him that T.Y. Danjuma, a Jukun, carried the north on his head. Recently, Takum, where he comes from, was harassed by these Islamic terrorists. People like Domkat Bali, Lawrence Onoja, Dogoyaro, who is from Lantang, Jogaba, who was Minister for External Affairs at one time, Chris Garuba, Tunde Ogbeya, and Tunde Idiagbon, they saw themselves first as northerners, before seeing themselves as middle belt people, before seeing themselves as Yoruba, Jukun, Lantang, Birom. And some people believe that it is karma that is haunting them for the role they played in the Civil War. I believe we should learn from our lessons. People like Bishop Matthew Kuka, that we used to respect, should not, because of his position in the Interfaith Commission, be used to deny genocide, oppression, intimidation, abduction, and desecration of Christians in the north. I know somebody from Barewa local government area. He said, if a Christian drinks water from the water container where his fellow students are going to drink from, that they pour the water away, that it has been contaminated. So we won't speak up for you. You should speak up for yourselves. You should assert your rights. You should assert your position and let your voices be heard. I reminded him that Senator Natasha Udwaga Akpoti, her recent challenges, it was predominantly Southerners that stood up for her. The senators from the north, the citizens from the north did not stand for Natasha. It is we from the south that stood up for her. Learn not to be used as an instrument of destruction, oppression. Learn to stand for the truth. Dr. Charles Apoki is still my name. God bless you.